What's up guys? Welcome to the Throwers Corner powered by Monkey Finger Design. I'm your host Mike Montgomery, and today we're going to talk about not much news actually. If you've been watching this show for the past several episodes, you might know that we're hitting our 10th episode now, and in the first 9 episodes I have not touched a yo-yo once the whole time. Now, picking up the box, I kind of touched a yo-yo. Yeah, that was great. It was the box. And I basically just recap what's going on in the world. All in all, it's a pretty cool idea. We tell you what's happening, we give you my thoughts on it, and we move on. There's something about it that just doesn't really feel like I'm connecting, and we need to fix that. We started out by doing a little bit of question and answering, and that worked out okay. We got a lot of response in the comments from people about various things that they were doing, like the tricks they were working on or the contests they were gonna go to, and then it kind of petered off. Maybe I'm just not asking that many questions, maybe the questions just aren't that good. It's hard to say. But the goal here is to educate and entertain and keep you sort of in the know as far as what's going on in the yo-yo world. It needs to be fun for everyone doing it. So my goal is to try and figure that out. Every so often we're going to have an episode like this one where we talk about where the show has been, where we're going, what our ideas are, what's working, what's not, and invite you to participate in the improvement and growth of the show. Being that this is our 10th episode, it's a perfect time for us to do one of these. First of all, one thing I don't like is I don't touch a yo-yo during the show, and it's kind of close quarters. I mean, that wall may seem like it's far away, but that's about 2 foot out of arm reach. Basically, if I did any horizontal tricks in here, I would smack all the walls and knock over the camera. I'm this close to the camera, so I'm within 2 feet of the camera and 4 feet of the wall. There's not much space to yo-yo, and because of that, you can't really see that I'm yo-yoing. That just doesn't really work out for the show. So there's not much space for me to yo-yo, and you can't really do much with that. Oh well. Something else that we're trying to work on that you guys have mentioned to me, whether it be privately in the email or in the chat rooms or just in random comments, is, Mike, it feels like you're reading from a script. I'm not ever reading from a script, just so you know. There's always notes sitting around that I can reference so I can remember what happened this week. Like most of you guys, I work my 9 to 5 job, come home, do some extra work around the house, and then I have my 20 to 30 minutes to do my yo-yo stuff. Not much time to go and read about what's going on in the yo-yo world. Thankfully, I have a team to help me out. I've got Shannon and Ray, 2 awesome guys to help bring news to me, which at that point I can go and I can sort of read through it, get familiar with it enough that I feel comfortable telling you guys about it, and unfortunately the side effect of that is it feels kind of canned. How to fix this, I'm not really sure. Ray thinks I should become familiar with a couple of the points that are brought into me as news, familiar enough that I can just sort of rant about it for a little bit, and then because it'll be my own natural thoughts about the subject, it'll be more flowing and it won't feel as canned. A lot of other people have said, yeah, you should do something like that. They also suggest that I get more into the bloggy side of things, where I'm actually just sort of talking about what I think and what I like and what I don't like, and this sucks because of that. And it's harder to do that because it puts your opinions on the line. I don't know if you guys have ever done anything quite like this, where you're sitting in front of a camera talking non-stop for 20 minutes and then editing it down to 4 minutes. But you can say a lot of things in a short amount of time that can come back to bite you in the butt if you haven't really thought about what you're saying and you're just doing it off the cuff as quickly as possible, because you do only have 25 minutes to film, and when that's over, you edit it, upload it, do the annotations, set the description, put the links, and throw it out there on the web and hope that people like it. And a lot of the times things get missed. I say the wrong name of a yo-yo company owner, or we put the wrong competition, or don't dot the I, or in this case uppercase the I. At high speed things slip through the cracks, and that's just something that we're getting used to and that we're getting much better at, that we don't really do as often anymore, but occasionally things get missed. And when you're just doing everything at such a high pace and high speed, you have to worry about things like that. It makes it really hard to want to just go on and on and on, giving you my thoughts and raw opinions about someone or something, and then run the risk of being very offensive even if that wasn't my intention originally. What I say could be taken out of context, it could be misinterpreted by someone else because what I said in the moment that got edited out and edited around and everything got tweaked a little bit no longer means the same thing. Makes it scary for me to want to do that kind of stuff. That being said, the shows that get the most views and comments and likes and just general interaction all around are the ones where I'm kind of giving an opinion about something and everybody's like, oh yeah, I agree with that, or I don't agree with that, you're stupid. At least in those situations, they are coming out of the woodworks and they're no longer just lurking there watching the video and disappearing or reading through the comments and that's it. They get involved, and that's kind of what we want. I just suppose I need to get over myself and start doing it. So cool, awesome things about the show so far. Oompa loompa dippity doo. In total, so far, we have gotten 178 subscribers to our channel in the last month of doing the show, which is pretty awesome because that on my own channel took me several years to do. So obviously we're getting people's attention, they like what we're doing enough to click the subscribe button. That's great. The more people that are subscribed, the more people we can inform about what's going on and not have to work as hard to get people's attention down the road. Good thing to have. Since we started the channel, we've had over 2,800 views on our videos combined. Being 9 videos, that's about 200 and something per video. One thing that hasn't really been happening that we kind of hoped would happen over the course of the last few videos is we would start receiving emails of news tips like, hey, my contest is this week and I've been organizing it for 4 months. I thought that we should get it in front of people. I figured that contest organizers and companies would be emailing us to let us know that stuff's coming out. That being said, we've been around for about a month and a half, maybe a month and a week at this point, and it's still pretty early. Most people probably don't even know we exist yet. So if you own a company, or if you run a yo-yo competition, or if you have some yo-yo related products or services or anything like that, even if you just have a new YouTube show that you're wanting to promote, drop us a line. Just let us know what you're up to and what's going on. Send us an email to news@throwerscorner.com and we'll make sure to feature you in the next video. Now that you know that nobody's doing it, if you do it, you'll get noticed. That being said, now that I've said that, I'm probably going to get inundated with emails, so all in all, this show is a resource for you. It's our way of giving back to the community that has made our lives so much better over the last, well, for me, 13 years. I'm not really sure how long my cohorts in this have been yo-yoing, but I know I've been at this for well over a decade at this point. I know many of you guys have been at this longer than 13 years. That's great. That's really awesome that you've stuck around. It's such an amazing hobby. I've met so many people through it. I've had a lot of awesome opportunities through it. I mean, who can say that they have their own signature yo-yo or they've written a book on how to do anything and have published it and sold copies of it? Who can say that they're sponsored for anything? That's really exciting to me, all because I picked up a camera and a yo-yo and decided to post videos on the internet. It's the least that I can do, and it's the least that we can do, to post these videos for you guys and to pull the news together. And I don't know about you, but when I started yo-yoing, if there had been something like this around, and there kind of was, but it was several years later, it was Stringburn Live. It was this online weekly newscast. It was basically a live video podcast that Joshua Schlichting, I think that's how you say his last name, I'm probably completely wrong, and Kirby Mitchell, Kirby Kirklasher, I think is his name. They used to put it together on a weekly basis, and you'd wake up every Saturday morning and you wait for the show to come on and you'd hop into the chat room and you would talk crap about everyone. You had a great time. But when you got mentioned on the show, it was the craziest feeling to have somebody recognize that you did something, even if it was just a cool little 10-second trick video that you threw online, and say, hey, I saw this awesome video by Mike Monty this week and he did a cool trick, but he used horrible music and man, he has weird hair. I always really enjoyed that. It like got your adrenaline pumping because you're like, holy crap, I'm gonna be famous. Even if it's in such a small little niche audience that we have, it was still really cool to be featured. And my goal with this is to give you guys that feeling. I'm sure for the most part you've noticed that a lot of the people we've been talking about are competition winners and people from the bigger companies and the bigger companies themselves. I don't know if those guys get any sort of adrenaline rush when their name's mentioned by us. That's not the point. When we see some of you guys posting really badass trick circles or some video project that you're working on, like Coffin's got involved in recently, or you post a really badass trick, or if like the local yo-yoer I know, Paul, or Yo-Yoist on Instagram, posts a cool video and we get a shout out about that, it's just really fun to do. And it's really cool to see how people respond to us putting their name out there and their awesome news that they're already excited about, and it just adds even more validation to how they feel about what they're doing. I don't know if you're like me, you've probably Well, when you started out, you probably sit there, you grab the yo-yo, you throw it for 10 hours straight, you wonder where the day went, and then the next day you pick it up just as excited and you keep on going. I guess that's basically the rant. I want to know what we can do to make this better for you. The format at this point is yo-yo contests that are coming up and the results of the ones that just happened. And then it's industry news like this yo-yo's coming out, or this guy punched this guy in the face at a contest and there was drama. We don't really talk about drama. Drama's kind of like pouring gasoline onto your matches and just waiting for something horrible to happen. After that, we talk about a cool trick circle, and then we're supposed to end the videos with a question of the week, question of the day, but we're sort of bouncing around the idea of maybe we do a trick circle in video 1 and a question in video 2. It's hard to decide really, so we'd love your input. I'd love your input. The reason I'm focusing on this for this episode anyways is because one of my team members has to go on a business trip and he's gonna be out of town, and he's the one that researches all the news. So I had a general idea of what was going on. There's a really awesome introduction to this documentary that Coffin, if you don't know who Coffin is, go and look him up. He's got some awesome yo-yos that he makes through his company, Oh Yes Yo. He has the Paradigm Shift and a couple of other ones. Paradigm Shift is actually pretty scary. It's very sharp. Anyhow, if you don't know Coffin, he's this really awesome dude that just got featured in a documentary that's going to be coming out soon that, according to some weird little notification I saw on Facebook, might be getting featured at the World Yo-Yo Contest. That could be cool. And the footage in it's great, the story in it's great, just all in all, it tells the yo-yo story that I want to be a part of. That you could have been out doing something horrible, you could have just been sitting around smoking dope all day, and instead you're playing with the yo-yo and you're having fun and you're building relationships with friends and family and you're becoming a good part of your community. You're even starting a company and you're giving back to your community in ways that you may not understand completely right now. I like what I saw in the mention of the documentary. It's really cool, and I think it's really awesome that Coffin got a chance to be featured in it. Basically, if you've got something going on, if you're making a new yo-yo pouch, or you've got some cool string cutter or new strings that you're making, or you've decided to manufacture your first yo-yo and see if the yo-yo industry doesn't try to burn you at the stake for doing it, let us know. I'd like to read about it. I'd like to see what you're working on. If you want me to, I will tell everyone that will listen about it excitedly and hopefully gain you some excitement from it as well. Just so you remember, the review of the Rambler will be coming out soon. It is the first official yo-yo by the Traveling Throw. The one that I got had a colorway that doesn't really line up with what will be in the production run, but it's an awesome yo-yo, and I can't wait to show you guys what I thought about it. The pros, the cons, everything that's great, everything that wasn't so great, and honestly just give you my personal honest feedback on what I believe is an awesome yo-yo. So keep an eye out for it. It's coming soon. I've got all the footage right here on this thing. Hopefully I don't drop it again. I just wanted to thank you guys for hanging out and watching the show and commenting when you have time and letting me know kind of where we've fallen off and where we're doing a good job and where we could do better. It means a lot to me that you guys even care enough to watch. And even more when you comment and you tell me what your thoughts are and what you're working on and what you would do to make it better, or what you think we're doing great at and we should do more of. At the end of the day, without you guys, there's no reason for us to do this show. So thank you for watching, and I hope that over time these will become that amazing thing that gave you an adrenaline rush because you got mentioned, or your video got shown in the corner over here, or your favorite company's dropping a yo-yo and you found out about it from us and you didn't have to dig through 40 Instagram posts to learn about it. Thanks again for watching. If you want to see more of these, make sure you click the subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions for us on how to improve the show, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. Once again, my name's Mike Montgomery. Thank you for watching The Thrower's Corner. I'll catch you later.